Greetings viewers, SunGod 2009. Today I'd like to show a good video of a fun project. As all of you are undoubtedly aware, that the Dell Dimension 5100, which I upgraded, is missing. Well, the story behind that is I believe I was doing a lot of tinkering around with it, and all of a sudden I probably messed around with one of the power supply Molex cable or with one of the hardware which shorted out the board. The board is not dead, it's just shorted. And I think there's a simple fix for that. But I'm not going to waste my time working on that. Today I'm going to do something fun, something I like. That is, I'm going to be upgrading this system. Now this system right here used to be an Asus machine, except it doesn't have an Asus logo, because this is a custom build case. Well, I'm going to show some people who wants to keep their old case tower because they like it, they don't want to, or they don't feel like spending money buying new case towers for their new board. Now, some towers, they may not accept the board that you want to put in, like such as this one, which is a gaming board. Some towers, if it's a custom build, would. It all depends. Now, to the people who want to do something like this, who don't want to spend money, well, this is the way to do it. Now, I don't advise it. It's really recommended that if you're building a gaming PC, you use a gaming tower. It'll look a lot nicer and sleeker. It's considering this is a gaming board. But that's not what I'm going to do with this board. This board, I'm going to be putting it into this machine. And I know some of you guys in the gaming community are like, no! Why? Why would you want to put that in that piece of crap? Number one, it's my case. Number two, I can do whatever the hell I want with it. And number three, this is for the people who want to do something like this. I'm going to show them how to do it. So if you don't like what I'm doing, please do not watch my video. Go watch someone else's video. This video are for the people who want to know how to build their own gaming machine or their own PC. This is the way to do it. Now we got that out of the way. Let's start off with this board. Oh, before we start off with this board or anything, I'm pretty sure some of you in the comment sections are going to be asking a couple questions, such as, for an example, well, first of all, what's with the tape on these? This is my way of cable management. And number one, I know there's better ways to do this without using duct tape. Duct tape is not always the best way to go, but it looks a bit badass. Either case, this is just my way of managing cables. I mean, there are other ways to do it. You could do it with zip ties. You could do it, any way you like. But this is how I want to do things. And this is, remember, this is my PC. I'm not selling it to nobody. This belongs to me. And then I'm pretty sure some of you noticed, well, there was never a fan here before. And this is not the original fan to the case. Correct. This is actually a fan from an old Dell Dimension 8100 series, I believe. It was a very old Dell. It used to run XP. Ugly looking, unfortunately, for my taste. But some people used to use them. But this is the fan I got off of there. And it still works. I'm planning to use it. And in fact, this is the fan that was able to cool off those other older PCs. And so I figured, you know what, it wouldn't hurt if I put this one in as well. Now, the purpose of me putting a fan here is to cool off the hard drive. I'm going to have more than one hard drive in here. So, as you are aware, there's no holes here. And I do not feel like drilling a lot of holes here at all. And that's just going to make the front look so darn ugly. And I don't want to... It's already ugly as it is, but I don't want to make it even uglier. So that's why I'm planning to leave this alone. So what do? Well, simple. I'm going to be putting the hard drive here. There's going to be two small hard drives in the middle. And two big hard drives here. And then another hard drive right over here. And then one more hard drive here, which is leaving the optical drive there. What's going to happen is all the cool air is going to blow all the heat away from the hard drive. It will either hit one of these fans or hit one of these fans. That's the point of me adding more fans. Hey, I'm a fan. Either case, this computer is going to be super cool. Now, the recommended CPU cooler I'm pretty sure I've seen out there is one of those fancy radiator coolers. I'll probably think about doing that somewhere along the line, maybe when I decide to upgrade this tower. But I'm not planning to get that anytime soon, so there's plenty of time in the future to do all that. Alright, I'm pretty sure also some of you are wondering, well, do I have everything? Not necessarily, and I don't expect to be finishing this fast. You see, this is going to be a slow build PC, because I'm working within budgets. I'm not doing I'm going to grab everything and then I'm going to put everything into the machine in one day. No. This one, I'm strictly working with budgets. So there's going to be a part 2 video. So this is just part 1. So let's begin with this. This is a gigabyte board I got off of Amazon for about almost $30, which is not bad. Then, of course, on eBay, we have this, hang on, let me get it up. If this camera would focus, I would definitely show you. Oh, well, it doesn't want to focus. This is an AMD A10 5700 series, which is not bad, which has a turbo speed up to 4.0 gigahertz. Somewhere along the line, I'll probably upgrade that. For the time being, it's the processor I will use. Then, of course, we have a 650 watt power supply. Awesome looking, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm going to be adding that too. That's going to make this machine run really good. It's going to give the power it needs. Now, the minimum is 500 watts. So, if I want to, I could go beyond that limit. Which is not the case here. I don't feel like going through all that. So, I'm happy with the 650 watt. The next thing to add are hard drives. As you can see, there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hard drives. But wait a minute. There's 4 SATA cables. How are you going to add 7? How are you going to add 2, 3 more? Well, there's a thing called the SATA adapter, or SATA for the SATA card for the PCI, one of the PCI. I'm planning to install it onto one of these soon, if I can find one. But once I do that, it all goes from there. So, that's why I hope, I'll be able to find it for the time being. Till then, we're going to stick with old reliable. They're going into the case. It's going to be running my desktop. And another thing. Yep. Now, these are obsolete, but you never know when you're probably going to end up using them. Optical drives. I'm planning to add that too. So, now I'm pretty sure the first thing you guys would do is take the motherboard and put it into the case. Then put the CPU. Then the CPU cooler. And then the RAM and the graphic card and all that other stuff. Well, I'm going to do something a little different. You don't have to do it my way. But this is what I'm going to do. Since I got the board out, I'm going to take the CPU. If I can get it into the right position. Here we go. And I'm going to put it into the socket. One more thing. make sure the thing is seated. The worst nightmare you ever have to deal with when it comes to the CPU is this thing is one of their pins bending. That's one thing I hate about these CPUs. They have pins on them. They can easily bend. But when it comes to those other CPUs, like the one I dealt with on one of my Dimension Dell, they had no pin. The only pin is inside these sockets. You bent one of these pins, you're screwed. You might as well buy a whole new CPU, and that's a nightmare. And I don't think anybody wants to deal with that. So make sure the CPU is seated. Make sure you don't bend anything. Once you feel the CPU is seated, go ahead and of course lock this in place. Nothing's going to, and as you know, that's not going anywhere. Awesome. Now this is where I'm going to start putting the motherboard in. So hold on a moment. I'll be right back so I can show you exactly how I'm going to do this. Okay. Not the angle I would like to use, but it's going to have to do. I'm going to start by moving these wires out of my way. And then I'm going to start by making sure that this board gets aligned in. This is probably one of those things I'm going to hate, but I have no choice. Yep, there we go. Now note, you want to make sure they're aligned properly, and you want to make sure these studs, like this gold one right here, are aligned together. Now if you don't have those studs in those cases, you better be sure to have one in any cases, because the purpose of these studs are to draw electricity away from the metal. You got to remember, the metal is a grounding point. So if that motherboard touches the grounding point, this whole thing will not work properly. The stud is meant to prevent the metal gaining contact with another metal, which could short the board out. You don't want that. So now that we got that aligned, time for the fun part. Oh, by the way, if you have a magnetized screwdriver, that's even better to use. Now, personally, it's preferable to do this without the cooling fan right here in the way. But in this case, I'm doing it with it on, because I don't really feel like taking that stuff off. I'm messing around with the realigning this cooling fan and, wasting your breath having you see all that. So let me get these screws in and yeah. Bingo. Now this is where in this process I will be putting a cooling fan here, but unfortunately I don't have the cooler fan with me. I'm waiting. I just ordered it not too long ago. I'm waiting for it to arrive soon. It won't be today. So whenever I get it, I'll do another video on putting the cooling fan in, and then perhaps there'll probably be a part 3 where I'm going to be putting the RAM and the video card in, and everything else is a test run from there. So, we got that done. Amazing. Now next is the part that's probably going to kill some of us, but then again, probably not. That is putting these wiring stuff on. I'm pretty sure some of you are going to say, oh, I've been down that line before. It's a pain in the butt. It is. I hate it. But we're going to have to do it. Now, the good thing about these newer boards, the labels are all written, so that means you know exactly what they'll tell you exactly where to put one of these plugs. And that's the best part about these label plugs, because you know before that, back then, you have to do it blindly while you were blind, and you better hope to have the manual with you because you're pretty much screwed. Next, put the speaker in, and I apologize if I'm blocking your view with my hand. I really wish I could give you a better camera angle than this, but I'm gonna have to do it this way. Then comes the USB, and now the audio. Oops, I pasted wrong. It's the other way. And of course, this is the fan accessory. That will be fan number 2. I'm going to place it as fan number 2. Fan number 1 would be the hard drive cooling system, which is the fan that's staying way in the back. That's this guy. And that's going to be fan number 1. It's going to be powering the first cooling system for the hard drive. The CPU cooler plug was going to be right over here. Now, next things next. What do we add? What do we do next? Well, now since we don't have a cooler, we'll go to the next step. Now, personally, me, you can do it the way you want. I'm going for the power supply. I'm going for this power supply. We all know where they're supposed to be mounted. Give me a minute so I can give you all try to give you all an angle. Sometimes I really wish I had a tripod that could hold this. So I apologize for the shakiness of the camera, or you know, I'm not giving you the proper view quality. I'm hoping that you know. In fact, yeah. This is the part where this thing gets in my way. And I really apologize for that in advance. Something telling me I gotta remove this X, but I don't have anything to do that with. Now, personally, since it looks like this one doesn't want to fit, I try to give it a little force as I can. I'm gonna have to be a little forceful with it. I really don't like being forceful with new things, but I have no choice. That's another pain in the butt. Sealing that up. Still gotta do more. This case is definitely putting up a fight with me. You know, when I'm trying to mount this power supply, it doesn't want to, it's like it doesn't want to take it in. And it's misaligning my screws. That's one thing I hate about it, just misaligning my screws. It's gonna ruin my screws. Alright, there we go. Pain in the butt again, as I said. I really hate that. But, you get the point. Now, most of you know, comes my favorite part. Connector. We plug that in. Oh, okay, it is in. Whew. One of these cases you never know. You can't hear. That's the hardest thing to tell. You can't even tell if, because you don't hear the click. Anyway, next, CPU plug. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. Especially with that cooler in the way. Well, I'm pretty sure some of you have seen the downside benefits of it. But so far so good. Everything seems to be falling in place. Now I see extra Molex connectors, but I got a surprise for them. Since I said we're going to be having 7 hard drives, there's 2 Molex cables, well 3. Well, it's going to have extra, so since it's going to be extra, we're going to probably have about 4 more. So before we get there, before we get to all that, let's start by putting the drives in. So I'll be right with you in a minute. Alright, here comes the fun part. We're going to put in ta-da-da-da-da-da, optical drive and the hard drive. So let's start off with the optical drive because it's the top one. We'll work our way to the bottom. Now the good thing about this case, you can tell if the screw needs to be aligned. You'll be able to see it. Along with these other hard drive bays. So, we're going to start off one by one and start inserting these hard drives in. Now you're going to see I'm going to be putting things in a particular method which is going to be questionable for you guys, but again, you can do it however you want it, whatever you prefer. I have my ways. 40 gigs goes right here. Another one goes onto the bottom. You'll see soon why I'm doing that. Hitachi 500 gig. Oh, that's 400 gig, my bad. This is Hitachi 500 gig right here, my fault. Apparently I wasn't looking. Look better, son God, look better. Look better sometime. Awesome. That looks nice. And of course, one more hard drive goes up here. Now I'm gonna have a hard time showing you this one because I got a whole one thing with one camera, and it's not gonna be possible to do that. Now this one gonna be real easy. I'll get to where these small hard drives in a minute. You guessed it actually. The hard drives will be in the middle, these small ones. Because this is where the biggest cooling part is. Because these are server hard drives actually. And they heat up more than these traditional hard drives do. So the best place to put them is in the middle. Because they'll cool faster. Awesome. Look at that. That optical drive is not going anywhere. It's going to be staying right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing for these guys. But it's going to be very hard for me to show you. So let me see what I can do. So just hold on for a minute. No, I'm not particularly fond of this angle either. Again, I need my extra hands. So you're going to have to bear with me when it comes to this. That looks amazing. So far so good. It's becoming a computer. Nice. Come on. Let go. Alright. Now. Power supply comes first. Oh, I don't think I gotta do any more pushing. Because it feels like it's a little, toughy. Maybe I'm pushing things too hard. I want to make sure the connection's snugged in. Let me just make sure. you never know. Sometimes you end up finding out, oh, the connection's never plugged in and something doesn't work. That's why you always check before you do anything. Okay. There's the third one. Where's this? Oh. This is an extra Molex cable. Alright. Give me a minute. Let me be right back. Okay, I'm back. I didn't get a chance to take a shot of this or shoot the whole thing because it was so painfully lengthy and, well, it was a pain in the butt to deal with anyway. But yeah, as you can see, it's not my best cup of tea in wiring, but I managed to hook everything, and I'm trying to get it away from the motherboard, but you know, it's putting up quite a bit of fight with me. Yeah, quite a bit of fight. But other than that, everything is pretty good so far. So far it's looking good. So there's going to be power going through this thing, but again, what good is there of power when you don't have a cooler for this thing? I really don't want to run this yet. Once I get a cooler in there, I'm going to power this thing on and see if it'll work. I hope it does. My hope is, you know, I want to make sure this is a good working machine. I'll be pissed if I have to start all over again. So, until then, also there's one more connection, and that's this one that goes to these two cooler here. So far this computer is almost done, and I have to say I'm pretty much liking it. It's amazing. So let me go ahead and close this case, and we'll have a look and see how it is when everything is together. So far it looks like a desktop. Yeah, a few holes here and there. But in any case, it's going to be good for the cooler to blow hot air out. The back looks very nice. So far, this computer is almost complete. Well then, I hate to cut you all off right now, but be prepared to look out for part 2. I'll be bringing that out soon. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment below. Subscribe to my channel as SunGod2009. And hope I'll be shooting some more later. Peace.